Let's talk about audio bullshit. I had to wait 15 seconds before I could say that. So if I told you, hey, I want to sell you a box, right? A magic box. And you plug your source into this magic box, and it's got a tube and these really cool flashing lights, and it's going to make your speakers sound wholly different and sometimes better. And you can add bass, and there's no distortion, and you know, there's knobs, and give me money. Or give me $550, and I'd be like, fuck you. This is a Black Ice Audio FOZ SS-X soundstage expander. And by all rights, had I not had one in the house, I would just literally be like, and move on. But I sit here in front of my Swan M3As, which were only set up in this house up in the mezzanine and sounded like ass. Down here in the essentially padded room with the double carpets and the ceiling full of insulation and the no walls, they sound glorious. And then you put this on them and you start turning knobs. So the FOZ stands for Fosgate, because Jim Fosgate, you may have heard of him. You've heard of Fosgate amplifiers. That fucking hawk's not eating my cat, is it? Because he's outside. He also like came up with Dolby. He's like the daddy Dolby. Thomas Dolby, believe it or not, is not the guy that invented Dolby. He's just some guy who plays music on the TV. But Jim Fosgate came up with like the actual things that, you know, out of phasing and wild shit. So when Black Ice Audio sent me, like, I have like a pile of their stuff. This is the most affordable thing they've got. And it's the weirdest thing they've got. Well, no, there's a Big Daddy version of this we're going to talk about, because I'm going to hook that up in another video. But for what this can do, this might be the least bullshit you could spend $550 on. Because what it does is it's got a tube here, which is the, basically, it's not really a preamp because you can't control the volume on this, but you give it a source in. Well, I'll have to actually pick it up. I'm going to take it to the desk, by the way. Look at the timestamps and we'll jump over there. By the way, I want to thank all my patrons and subscribers, $5 a month. You get to see these reviews early, participate in yard sales and sound demos, get to the sound demos, and the $10 ones, they know all about what I'm doing today. So this thing, how do I describe this? So it's just got, I'm going to try not to knock, there's a lot going on here. It's got 4 sets of RCAs in the back, 3 inputs, so you can switch between 3 different inputs, which is nice. Straight off the bat, if I said there's a metal box and you plug 3 RCAs into it and you get 1 RCA out and you can switch between them, that's worth some amount of money for an American-made one of those. All right? I could see that being charging $150 to $200 for just a box to go switch for 3 different inputs. So, okay, you plug in your power, and you got your 3 inputs and 1 RCA set of outputs. Not balanced, just RCA. The front has a 3-way switch. Display on, off, and then display off, but still on, in case you don't want the beautiful, and I mean this is like, I'm going to change it. Display on or display off, or off, the entire unit with the tube turning off. And you have your input switch, your 3-way input switch, and it's just a standard little, again, you'll see this better on the review desk. I'm not designed to be doing this. We'll talk about the layout and the system, but you gotta know what it does first. 2 knobs, one that says bass EQ that just has min and max, and it doesn't tell you that vertical is like stock, but vertical is stock. Then this one here that says dimension with a 0. And all the way to the left is narrow, and all the way to the right is wide. And it feels like the biggest pile of audio bullshit that you're gonna tell me this box will do something to the sound that's worth any amount of money. And it does everything to the sound, to the point where it's like, wow, they're undercharging for this. Because it's using the tube as a buffer on the input side. And then everything in this is analog. There's no digital in here. That's another thing that they like to talk about, is like, because I had someone from Tacony here, and we're talking about measurements and talking about this, and I talked about this, and he says, yeah, you could totally do that with DSP. You could just take what this is doing, because it's not a secret. It's not like, oh my God, magic. It's taking the out of phase sounds, which is how a surround sound processor, by the way, if you have just a surround sound receiver and you put it into like stereo, it's left and right. But if you put it into like Dolby music mode, your rear channels light up and start making sounds. And the way that happens is it's analyzing the music in real time. and any sounds that are the same on the left and right come out of the center channel of your surround sound, which is what this light represents. It says F for front. And then anything that's not present in the right channel or will only appear in the left channel. So you'd get the center channel, and your left and right would just be left and right. A lot of times music is mostly mono, and then you have like maybe a drum solo that happens in the left. Or if you're watching The Doors like to fuck around. It's like the entire piano is just left channel because fuck you, Jim Morrison. Actually, no, who played the piano? Oh, I know their names. I went to see them like 7 or 8 years ago. I saw them live. Manzan? Yeah, I know who they are. And then any sounds that happen that are out of phase, which it's analyzing if there's, because a wave is like this, that's phase, and the wave is the opposite, is out of phase, we'll just move it to the back channel. And I think DTS moves it entirely to the back channel, and Dolby moves it mixed between the front and rear, so you sort of get like more of a side width. But that's fine. That's for 5 speakers. How do you do that with 2 speakers? And the answer is, I don't know. But they're doing it. They're literally exaggerating or reducing the amount of out-of-phase sounds and putting it back into the mix in analog with a tube pre. So it's like, I guess I've described the basics of the science behind it. Now we're going to get into the actual emotional concept of what you're doing and why I have a speaker stand here. By the way, it's the Canto stand. It's like, it's hollow because I haven't filled it with sand. It actually came with bags to fill with sand. I've got an SMSL DO200. I'll tell you exactly what I've got going on. In fact, I should have changed the input. Let me see if this is going to work. I just plugged it in. All right, we'll see if, do we still have sound? Hold on, wait, do we still have sound? We do. I've got an II2S cable coming from the Matrix X SPDIF 3 coming across the floor here. If I got a HDMI cable going to this DAC, the DO200. I'm using this as my preamp for volume. I could actually just use the speaker control volume, but we're going for like knobs here, bro. So we've got this, which is acting as my speaker volume. So I got to run that around, you know, -9 or something. And then this is outputting RCA to the input. The RCA outs of this through World's Best RCAs. I have these with the little flags that say signal source because I only have the grounds connected on this side. Go out to the absolutely lovely, gigantic speakers I purchased before I bought this house and haven't used them in the basement since. Oh my God. They're actually still a little bit dusty. Swan M3As. There's a Mark II version. Swan won't send them to me. They say they're out of stock and they're probably not going to make them anymore. So if you have these or the version 2s, hold on to them, boys and girls, because you're so fucking lucky. I reviewed these a long time ago, and having them set up here in the Magic space is kind of nice. Now, you're seeing this video probably after I've released the video of my Broadmans, which are now tucked into the corner. Nice. Oh, don't touch them. And those things had a very special property where they expanded the soundstage because they literally shoot the sound sideways. So I figured, all right, let's do that now, but we'll try to do it using the FOZ, the SS-X. So those are self-powered monitors with their plugged-in RCA, and that's the powered side, which says it's the right side, but I'm like, nope, switch your RCAs backwards so that it works. We can sit down with our soundstage expander, which, by the way, SS-X is a tricky. Do I have that song? Hold on. I don't think I have that song. Find tricky. I don't have the SS-X tricky. Oh, man, I suck. But I do have Bach Minuet in G minor from European Night, the super stereo sounds collection. And I could tell you if I turn this down all the way to narrow, leave the bass where it is, input 2, volume is set pretty good, perfect. And I just unpause this. Because I have that set to narrow, all the sounds are coming from between the 2 speakers. No, that's normal, isn't it? Is that normal, Zeos? And just saying that's a normal thing? No. Yeah, if I put this to the standard, which is vertical, there's no detent. This is sitting here in hand control, not just because of the review I'm doing. It's sitting here because this is where this needs to be. This unit kind of freaks me out a little bit because I kind of want to use it. You know the Audiophile like true bass button and how that's like an addictive fucking crack thing? Like, oh my God, it sounds so much better. This is that for speakers, at least. I haven't tried it with headphones yet. When I stop this video halfway through and move it to the desk, so it's going to be a longer video, but when I do that, I'm going to see if this, because it might just fuck up headphones. I might not enjoy it. Like crossfeed sometimes doesn't work. But for speakers, to be able to, like, it's like literally focusing the lens on a camera. Only with this knob, we're focusing it tighter or normal or out. And it's big. It's not like a little change. This is a massive change. Like a deaf person could hear the difference. And that's what I want for $550. I want an American-made box that does magic that actually, I don't even care if you hate what it does. It's doing it. It's not advertising this magic shit, all with the rocks, the transients. No, it's literally fucking twisting the sound stage in and out via fuckery with the goddamn out-of-phase signals. It's doing its job. And then the bass boost or reduction, which I actually found out on a previous song, I had to reduce the bass, can go up or down 9 decibels. So if you're listening to this and it sounds a little bit too warm, you can just the fact that it's here, and this is how I'm going to recommend, and this is, if you buy one of these and you're doing it for speakers, you don't want this away from you. You want, because every single song I've played in it, I've decided I want this to be wider or narrower. You think, oh, just more soundstage, see us all the fucking time. There are some songs that I've actually crushed them down into like a more focused vocals. You want more vocals? Switch this shit to narrow, and all of a sudden the vocals might go from a slightly like broad area to a pinpoint. That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's audiophile black magic. It's black ice, but it's black magic. Like here's Blue Claw Jazz ukulele steel drums, which of course everyone uses all the time for testing if you haven't looked it up. And frankly, narrow kind of hurts because it's like steel drum. But if you just throw that width out there, and it sucks that I can't just play this stuff on YouTube. But you throw that width out there, and we'll bass boost the shit out of it, because bass boosted memes are hilarious. You'll lose it. It becomes this wide sound of just steel drums. By the way, please, someone in the comments recommend me audiophile steel drums, please, please. This box does exactly what it claims to do, and it does it with technology that's been around since like the 70s. It looks like it's kind of from the 70s. And the only thing that really bothers me a little bit is that you have to have space. You can't put anything on top of it. I wanted to put the DAC on top of it, but you can't. It's just got the display here, which we could, when you switch it down, it's going to turn off the tube, so go faster. By the way, the tube is a Russian-made Electro-Harmonics. We got this before the whole thing that's, going on over there, so I don't know. That tube may change, and I don't know what changing this tube, I guess it would, because you're not altering volume, but it's still taking in your signal, putting it through the tube to work on it, because this Black Ice audio is tube stuff. And then you're getting this out. So I plugged the wire, I plugged one speaker directly into the DAC to avoid using this processing. And there's definitely, it's sharper and just clarity goes up because you're not intersecting it with a tube. But I think if you're buying this, you're kind of interested in fucking with the sound a little bit. Like put the bass, and I find every song I'm also just resetting it to 0, like back and back. And okay, Dragon Age, Inquisition, the Battle in the Sky. Doesn't need any bass, leave that alone. The width is just not even all the way. That's another thing. I'm turning the knob while just looking dead ahead and going, okay, there it is. This is an every track tweak machine. And I got to go find out what it does on headphones. We'll come back here at the end, which actually I'm going to film right now, and then we'll say goodbye. But we're going to go, let's go see what this does to headphones, because frankly, this is a 100% if you have an analog system and don't want to fuck with DSPs, or you're just a tweak freak, or you're just bored. And a lot of times they're saying, like, for room, like if your room doesn't allow it to be set up wide enough, you could just buy this. I believe them. I fucking believe them. I might have to try to sound demo this, and I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll give it a shot. Anyway, let's go try this with headphones now. some Cowboy Bebop OST, through Bravura, which is like a $6,000 Sonoma electrostat. Because if you're gonna go to hell, let's go to hell in a handbasket. Installed this. First time listening to this in a headphone, and this is a great little setup because this has a digital input or an analog input. So obviously this is the analog input, and I'm able to switch. I'm currently on the digital input, which is no modification to the sound via this. It's just coaxial digital in. It's using its own internal DAC. It's a $6,000 unit. Should be good enough. When I switch to analog, it's actually using a Geshelli Labs DAC, which is down there. And then I've got this set, maximum width, a little bit less low end actually, on input number 3. So if I hit play on, and which song is this? This is Forever Broke from Yoko Kanno. And it's just, it's beautiful. There's this, you can hear the guitar strings in his hands, and it's like, okay, that was beautiful. A beautiful like thing. So now let's switch it to analog, which is this. I would never listen to this without this. Just full fuck you with just what? It works on headphones. It works. It's weird because you're wearing them and it sounds like they're going ooh, ooh, ooh. Do you lose some detail when you slam it to wide? Only if there's a very concentrated center image. But this song in particular is super left and right. Like that is not. Was that in real life? Hold on, I gotta back this up. Either something just cracked and fell down over there, or the headphone went click like real bad in my ear, and it would, I don't know. Making it narrow is like, ooh, just like sucks into your chest. These headphones are super weird, by the way. These Bravuras are going to get their own review. And you know what? It might include this because, frankly, if you're going to spend $6,000, $6,550 doesn't sound like a whole lot more. And oh my god, oh my god, it's like diluting the sound. Like here's a sound and here's a sound and narrow, and you just dilute it to like wider and bigger and fluffier and fuck. We're back to fuck. By the way, Fey wallpaper available in the wallpaper hoard. This is an old wallpaper. I didn't want to put a new one on here, save all the new ones. So I just got literally every old wallpaper I've used. Just they're on tap here, bros. All of these are available in the wallpaper hoard in the description. Let's just give it a scroll and see where we end. Perfect. Even better. Well, not. Oh, the ultimate. The Eagles Hotel California Live. So now, wait. Switching back to digital. Very clean, very quiet. Very pure. Again, not reviewing the Bravura here, but... And this is still seeing the signal, so I could actually visualize it. Oh, that little solo, but it's beautiful. Let's switch that. I honestly, with the verticals, very, very close to stock. The tube is there, though. You're introducing, if you do nothing else, you're introducing a tube pre to whatever solid state amplifier you're using. But it's not like a complete fucking mess. It's not like, bleh. But his guitar literally went from like here to like, you're sliding his guitar over like 5 or 6 inches with a knob. That's insane. It's basically like all the way wide is behind my ear. It's like, I don't even, oh, then we're gonna have to boom. And centering it, base narrow, makes it almost mono. Oh. Honestly, a little bit of bass distortion there. So let's see if that was this thing's fault or not. Go back to digital. Maybe it wasn't as much bass distortion. It's just that is a very, very clear pull. Give this 0. Oh, there's a little bit. Okay, so the tube on those really deep hits, this is actually introducing a little bit of distortion. Either the DAC is too much voltage and it's just getting through the tube and being weird, but it's definitely heard like it broke up a little bit on those extreme. If I lower the EQ down, unless, see, it doesn't say 0 here, unless this is the stock. You know what? Maybe stock bass EQ is like, it can't be minimum. It must just be lower. Although I'm not really picking up on like a bass boost. Because now it's fine. I've got it down to here, and the bass is playing exactly like it does on the digital circuit. But oh my God. Yeah, no, there's my settings. So for this particular song, Eagles, Hotel California Live, bass EQ, 9 o'clock. Soundstage or dimension, 2 o'clock. I listened to this song on these. This is now it's perfect. If I do this, switch it, it's better. It's literally making it better. I can't. There's no other way to describe what's happening other than I am now enjoying this song more through this box. And isn't that what all audiophile gear should do? So this is as audiophile as we fucking get on this song, them, and this is as audiophile as we get on this channel. So introducing and injecting a $550 American-made box with a tube sticking out of it, that I'm actually like, you know what? I would rather. Let's just, you know what? I'm pretty much sold. I gotta go play with all the other Black Ice stuff. The big box for this is just insane. I can't wait to get to that thing. Let's go back and end this video. Does it work for headphones? The answer is fucking yes. The answer is yes. With Sonoma, with the Bravura, it is a yes. So I to say it's yes. By the way, Rinko's coming out. Not you. There you go. All right, moving over. Wallpaper Horde. Get all those. Watch the World Burn from the Dark Knight OST. I'm back here now that they've done the desk segment, which I totally did between these two. It's like you're moving the sound like this. It's like a door that you're sliding over and back. And I actually find with like this Dark Knight track, it's a very, very subtle strings. I kind of want to bring them closer. I want to bring them more focused into the center. It's weird to want to negate soundstage, which usually it's all soundstage. But with this just down a little bit, it's like, yeah, no, this box is fucking magic. Literally black magic, and I'm so glad it's not. They could easily have said this is not $550, this is $1,550, obviously. Don't be an idiot. But at the same time, they didn't. So you're getting this for less than most components you people are going to buy for your speakers or your DACs or your... And it's going to do something that is honestly exciting and new. I fully support and wish to fund this. Give it to me. Give it to me. The big one's going to be even nuttier because you could actually put rear speakers on it. We'll get to it. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. I think I'm going to make an assumption that I think this is better with speakers and headphones, but I don't know because I haven't filmed that section yet. Patreon Subscribe Star legitimately supports this channel. Thank you very much if you're a subscriber. For either one of those, you get to watch these reviews early, participate in yard sales, and get access to the Sound Demo Oasis, where you can listen to speaker demos and headphone demos without fear of YouTube being dicks. $10 a month puts you in the private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat, where you can talk to me directly, and gives you access to a lifetime swap meet channel. So if you support there just once, you're in that channel to buy, sell, and trade gear forever. Check out Hi-Fi Guides, the Hi-Fi Guides forums. I'm constantly looking for sponsorships going for shows in and out. So if you run a business, if you run a coffee business, I'd love to be sponsored by a coffee business. I don't even drink coffee, but I'll drink it on camera if you sponsor the channel, and then you can watch me shake through the entire thing. Either way, thank you to Black Ice Audio for sending this out. Wallpaper available in the Horde. In case you couldn't tell, she's expanding her wings, which is weird because they're actually showing her spine sticking out on this tail. It's a whole weird thing. But anyway, get that in the wallpaper horde using Resilio Sync, and I guess I'll link to these swans because fuck, I forgot how good they were. And anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Totally convenient for Audiophile. It's perfectly fine.